The Williston experience teaches you to be an independent person.
To me, it was a process of learning how to think.
It was a very enlightening experience for me.
One of the things that Williston really gave me was a chance to really figure out who I was and to help me become that person.
Every single day, I'm challenged.
You're forced to bring something to the table that you may not have known was inside of you.
Kids figure out their own possibilities here.
I've grown so much over the past 4 years, and who I've become today is based on all the opportunities and experiences that I've had while being at Williston.
It is providing an opportunity that is so rich with so many different aspects that it's very hard to even describe it until you actually are in this setting, how much a kid can thrive and love it.
I think the school's done a remarkable job over many years of using its resources efficiently to support students and making sure they had a safe and productive and exciting place to study and to go to school. And I think it's time now to really think carefully about this being institutionally strong and secure for the future.
I was in a very difficult situation when I was 13 years old that Williston helped me actually escape from. My entire tuition was paid for by Williston with the exception of a few loans, and I really feel that it's important to have the institution around and available to give other students like myself, like I was at 12 and 13, the opportunity to be sitting where I am today.
The money and the endowment and the fundraising is not only to provide diversity in the student body, it's to provide diversity in the faculty, which is more and more a crucial element to making sure that kids of every learning style and kids of every background get the skills that Williston is there to provide everyone.
Our ability to really have a strong faculty is central to our purposes and to our mission.
We have to have the finances to be able to develop our facilities, to be able to compete with other schools.
Williston saved my life. I completely changed who I was. While I was there, I knew that something really, really good had happened to me, but it took me probably about 15, 20 years to really feel that and kind of step up to the plate, to then want to turn around and really give back to the school. I'm really glad I've gotten back involved.
The most important ingredient in the quality of our school now is the merger of Williston Academy with the Northampton School for Girls.
It took very little time for the girls to feel comfortable here and for the boys to feel comfortable with the girls. They seemed to weave together as a new school almost instantly, and I think they carried the wave. I think the faculties from both schools then began to feel, okay, this is going to work. But it was that kind of youthful energy and resilience that I think enabled that first year to be a very smooth transition.
There are a lot of things that change, but I do think that the culture of the school and the sensibility of what the school's all about is something we've been most anxious to retain and sustain.
I went to Northampton when I was 12. It was a very small school. There were 160 kids in the school. There were 90 boarders and 70 day students. And I knew 160 kids, and I knew every faculty member, and everybody knew me. And it was a wonderful experience to be looked at and talked to by everybody, people who were seniors, people who were freshmen, day students, boarders. Everybody was very connected, and that was a wonderful and very supportive environment.
One of the fundamental aspects of the school is it wasn't founded for the chosen few or the elite. It was founded for the people who really wanted to learn. If I do my job, I don't just teach somebody science. I make them a better learner.
The most important part of an education is the people. It's wonderful to have great buildings, it's wonderful to have beautiful lawns and all those sort of things, but what makes the difference is having the experience with another human being.
We pay attention to the personal. I think that's a large part of it, but I do think there is a certain mystery about what is the Williston spirit and why does it work and what is Williston.
The school's heritage of trying to have young people go through experiences which ground them and learn from mistakes and profit in ways that will help them be more successful as adults is a wonderful heritage and is a very strong one, and that will, I think, show to be stronger and stronger as the years go by.
At the old Williston, at the old Northampton School for Girls, and at the merged school. It's a place where you can easily and comfortably take risks and learn from your mistakes.
The faculty here, they love to teach.
Teachers here care about the quality of their teaching.
It's a lot more challenging, and I'm really pushed.
Because we have that small class size, we have the opportunity to give our students a lot of individual attention, to work very closely with them, and not just do things inside of the classroom, but have the opportunity to move outside of the classroom and continue that important relationship.
To be in the classroom in the morning, to be out on the athletic field in the afternoon, and to be working with kids in the evenings, that was our job. We loved it. That's why we're still here.
I really clicked with Al Shaler, who was a tremendous faculty teacher. He was my advisor. He was my cross-country coach my freshman year at Williston. And he was helping me just adjust through the trials and tribulations of being 13 years old.
Peter Robinson was my lacrosse coach, and I played goalie, and Peter Robinson had been a goalie. And he was also my English teacher. Interaction was constant, and one becomes very comfortable with the people that you engage with in the classroom.
The student life that connects with as many adults as possible is an enriching factor for kids.
Just to know that somebody, while you're away from home, is checking up on you and is there for you, it's a really nice feeling.
Williston is great because I do a little bit of sports, I do a little bit of theater. You get to try so many different things. There's hundreds of classes you can take. You have your standard sciences and maths, but then there's also photography and introduction to theater.
They're willing to do things that are unexpected, like audition to join an a cappella singing group, try out for a play, run for class office, seek to serve the school as a proctor. And I think that that's one of the things that makes Williston a great place for kids to learn, is that there are a lot of faculty here who implicitly understand that that's the mission, is to help kids get to a place where they're more likely to take positive risks for gain.
My family was living in the UK my junior year in high school over there. I remember coming home telling my parents I'd seen the college counselor, and they said, "Well, there's some school someplace that'll take you." My parents were on a plane the next week, went to see some advisors, and amongst the schools they recommended were Williston. Williston ended up taking me, but said, "This man has to come for 2 years," which I did. It was transforming. It was the rigor, the discipline, the camaraderie, all of that got me focused. I ended up graduating with honors, got accepted at the Wharton School of Penn, never looked back.
One of the things that I carry with me most is the inspiration I received from my teachers. Dick Gregory was one of the most profound influences I've ever had in my life. He was my advisor, he taught me art history, and I was the last person who ever sang with him in the Caterwaulers. He inspired me to go to Yale and to want to be a singer and a musician, and I was in the Whiffenpoofs just like he was. And to, sort of have that connection, not only at Williston, but in college and in life, for me was really profound.
If I happen to run into someone who went to Yale 8 years before I did, and we were introduced, there'd probably be a couple minutes of pleasantries, and that's it. In the same situation, if it were someone from Williston, there's almost no chance that we wouldn't exchange phone numbers, that we wouldn't exchange stories, and that we somehow wouldn't have a future connection.
To those whom much is given, much is required. And I think that it's not an opportunity, it's a responsibility for Williston to use this campaign to address the broader needs by going beyond the bricks and mortar and remembering that it's the human relationships.
I would love to see this school strengthen its endowment to support good faculty and good students, that essence of what this school is all about. That, to me, seems to me fundamental now to the success of this school decades in the future.
We've had some difficulty defining at times exactly why we're so connected to Williston. It's just a feeling that we have. And so if you can convince a friend of yours from Williston to come to an event or to come to campus or to come to reunion, you'll recognize that once that person gets reconnected to the school, they'll remember exactly why it was so important to them. And once they reconnect, it's powerful, it's magical.
The shaping of that personality, that confidence happened for us at this place that was Williston, and it's important for us to give back so that other people can have that experience.
There's just a lot of pride in being associated with this place that's part of us.
The thing that struck me was this just cannot be an institution that is allowed to not succeed. Given the passion of the teachers, the fun that we had while we were there, and the opportunities it created, I said it just can't be allowed to not succeed.